Hello, viewer, and welcome back to Games with Dialogue. This is episode 70 of my RPG Maker series. The last several times, I've been working on developing the challenges for the skill shrine, and today's episode will be no different. So let's not waste time and get to it. All right, so if you have been following with me, so far in the skill shrine, we have two rooms done. We have the button pushing room, which I'm not really happy with the layout. I think I need to put rows in between the buttons for the player to walk through. So I'm probably going to restructure this room to add some walking space between the buttons for the players. We have the second room, the sliding ice room, which I need to finish up. I'm mostly happy with this, except for the sound effect thing. Somebody suggested that I use balloons to convey emotions. And I just want to open this up. Let's say instead of a sound effect, or in addition to a sound effect. Come on. Come on. Come on. I have to click edit, don't I? Alright, edit. Fine. Let's see. Can I add a balloon here? Or does it gonna have to be... It'll probably have to be outside of the thing. Walking, stepping through, change image. Blend mode. Oh, right. Okay. No, I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't think I can add the balloon here, so let's add it up front. Where are you? Show balloon icon for the player. Exclamation point, question, music note, heart, anger, sweat, light bulb, or user defined. I wouldn't mind doing a user defined, but that means I'd have to set it up, which I haven't done, so I can't show you that. But I could do sweat. Wait for completion, no. Apply, and let's see how that looks. Okay, avoid the holes. Make my way around, up, over, and right here. Okay, alright. So the sweat drop lasts about as long as it takes for the player, the character, to reach the second sound effect. That might work. I don't have any way to extend the sweat drop, or the animation for the balloon, but it could work. It could work. But that's how you would do it. Anyways, moving on. So we have room 3. Room 4, I know I want to be a giant maze where the player is supposed to push an object onto switches to open the door. So that leaves room 3, which I was originally going to have buttons that the player had to push in a correct sequence to open the door. Thinking about it, though, I don't know if I maybe instead want to create a maze with walls that open and shut based on which buttons are pressed, creating and changing a route through the room. So, for example, let's say the player pushed this blue button and it sealed the wall right here. The player would come through, walk over here, and see that the wall was sealed. Let's say they pushed the green button then, thinking maybe that will unseal the wall. And it doesn't do that here, but it seals the wall here. Then the player would know, with no way out, that that was wrong. So they'd push the green button, open this up, come out here. They could either push the blue button or they could push the yellow button. If they push the yellow button, let's say this wall stayed closed. This wall stayed open, but there was an opening up here. So they'd come back in, see the wall was closed, but if they explored, they'd find another route through, push the red button, and the door opens, and Bob's your uncle. That's an idea. That leads to a lot of trial and error, I think, which is fine, but I already have 2 skills shrines that do that. I mean, 2 skill rooms that do that. Trial and error. And I'm okay with that. I just want to try something different for this room. I'm going to build what I came up with, and we'll see how it works. For this, though, I'm going to need the room to be bigger. So we're going to need, maybe not quite double, but definitely bigger. For this one, we'll say 40. I don't think I need quite as much height. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to need quite as much height. So we'll do this. There we go. We'll leave this here. Actually, no, I'm going to slide it over. I'm going to slide it over so that the entrance is way over here on this side. Shift. 1, 2, 3, 4. At least 10, right? At least 10. Wow, it was more than that. Okay. I'm just going to do this until I get it right. So, what I'm thinking for this is that, yes, just like that, and just like that. Great. What I'm thinking for this is that each room will have its own color switch. And there will be a clue of the sequence that the buttons need to be pushed in order to open up the exit. And it has to be done for each. It has to be done for each color, each room. I'm going to start with yellow because that's what I thought of originally. And then we'll go from there. So yellow needs... These rooms probably aren't to scale. I really think I should actually just make these bigger. But again, we're just seeing how it works. So what I need is... No, I want to leave it open. So the ceiling goes there. We have this one. Yeah, they have to be 3 long. I actually might need to make these rooms longer. Okay. Well, that's fine. 3 long. All right. Where is... Right there. And I need... Yeah, the room's going to need to be bigger because I need to actually make 3 separate dots. But for now, we're just going to copy and paste what we get. I'm going to build 1 and then copy paste all of them. I want the wall switch. Where was that? Other? No. Hold on a minute. Cancel. Where did I get these wall switches from? You know what? It doesn't matter. I can just copy and paste that way. Paste. 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 I would rather have all 3 switches in the center, so I'm going to have to adjust. So what I was thinking is we could have another clue pasted in this room somewhere, either right here or over here at the entrance, that tells the player a riddle. In this case, with these buttons, the sun rises and sets the same every day. And then the player would have to figure out... I'm just going to give you the answer to the clue. So it's east to west, the player would have to click this far right yellow button, then the middle yellow button, then the far left button. And that will solve the riddle for this room. Simple enough, right? It's simple enough for the player to figure out. We're talking about the sun rising and setting, so the shakeup here is that there's 2 yellow buttons for each column. So which one am I supposed to pick? And that's not hard to suss out. It's easy enough once you understand what I'm getting at, or what the riddle is getting at. I think that's fine. I think that works the way I want it to work. From there, though, you have to do the same for red, green, and blue. And you have to do it within a time limit to get the door open and get out. I think that's complicated enough that it works without being so head-scratchingly awful that most people will fail. I mean, I want the player to succeed. I want them to move on and experience the rest of the game. But I don't want to make it so easy for them. I mean, it's easy for you guys because you know what the answer is now. But that's the idea. Green, I was going to go with something similar. Let's see here. How was I going to structure? Think like that. And then if they come, want to leave space open, so something like that. And then another one. No, not there. Another one and another one. Nope, too much room between the two. Another one. And another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. So... Oh, I can just copy paste this one. Right. I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I can just build on previous work. Okay. And then let's say... Okay. Copy. Oh, I don't want to do that, do I? Huh. Well, no. Okay, so you don't know what I'm thinking here. For blue, I have a riddle picked out that I want to do. The way where I position the columns for this one, you can see I put a yellow on each end. If the player figures out the sun riddle first, and then they come into the green room, the sun rises and sets the same every day. They think, I want the position of the yellow to kind of throw the player off a little. It's the green room, but they have to figure out their own clue. And it involves the sun. I was thinking something like, moss on the trees always grows to face the sun. For that, though, the player might be confused into thinking that they have to push the right green buttons that correspond to the yellow buttons in this room, and not, as the solution that I'm making, push the green buttons that face this room. The way I have it laid out now is wrong, though, for that. I need green buttons that don't face this room. I need green buttons that are scattered all over the room. And the player needs to push the ones that are only on the left-hand side. So, I don't know. Let me copy again and put these down. Let's say I put a few more columns in here. Get rid of this. Let's say I do this, just to throw things for a loop. I also should probably make these bigger with more buttons. Maybe do something similar to here, where I have 4 or 5 sized columns. Or maybe I just do multiple columns in this room, some of which are stupid, and some of which don't serve any purpose. That's possible. I did want the yellow to throw the player off, but if I do any other colors, I also want to use the clues from the other rooms to throw the player off in here. And I'm going to do the same for the other rooms. Like the red here will be significant because of the clue in the red room. But I think I need to make these columns bigger. I think I need to make more of them just so there's more green buttons to throw the player off. Because the solution is to click the green buttons on the left-hand side. And it's way too simple right now. So let me make the room bigger. This is what I'm aiming for. Well, almost. I think I'm off one more, because I want this to be 4 instead of 3. It's fine for now. It's fine for now. Actually, what I'm thinking is maybe get rid of... Yeah. I want the player to be able to move around the room a little more easily than this. So maybe what I want to do is... kind of hard pressed here to do that, though. What if I make the opening over here? No. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm okay with this. Yeah. I just move this one up 1. Okay. All right. Sorry, folks. We've got it all under control now. Everything is as it should be. Yeah, that'll leave a little more breathing room for the player, because they're going to be in a hurry, and I want them to be able to navigate efficiently. So let me move all of these back. Paste. Paste. I might actually just have... this one over here and this one on the end be 2 spaces. Just 2, green and yellow. Which one am I supposed to push? Well, every other there's a lot. There will be a heavy leaning of green in this room, which should tell the player what they need to know. But I also want them to keep in mind the yellow from the sun and put the sun as a word in the riddle here. Cut. We'll do paste. I don't think it's going to fool anybody if I say moss grows in the same direction, facing the sun. Unless I have green on every corner. Including this one? Oof. No, not including this one. That might throw players a little bit better. I missed one. My question then... yeah, players aren't going to be fooled by that. I mean, there should be context clues, right? The yellows here aren't the same. And where's blue? Right up here. Copy. Paste. Come on. Oh, I see. I actually have to. Okay. Delete. Paste. Paste. A smart player, I think, should be able to figure this out pretty easily. But then I already know the answer, so I could be biased. It could be very hard to figure out. But this is the gist of what I'm trying to go for. The blue one, I'm going to have to restructure this room. Let me copy, paste, so it's there and out of my way. And then I can just delete these colors because they aren't going to serve me much good in this room. Clear this out so I have more space to work. All right. So for blue, I was thinking something like water, right? I actually don't have a riddle made up for it yet. I just had a vague idea of what I wanted to go through. Put that there. Go. That's the door out. I might actually need to make this room bigger too, and like taller, not wider, like I did with the green. So I was thinking water. I was thinking something like a river runs through it, which means I'd have columns. I actually need to make this. I'd actually have like columns set up and blue. That's not going to work. Yeah, it needs to be wider because I need another row. Where'd you go? I need another row. That's not going to work because the roof of this needs to be put in place. But I'm just giving you an idea, right? I'd have a bunch of different colors in here. But specifically, let me come back to this and copy. I would have paste with a clue, a river runs through. The ones in the middle are the right ones. The question is, how do I make this trickier so the player's not quite sure that it's right? Because if I only have 3 on each column, or each row, the player might be confused. It might be really simple right now. Oh, I need the middle ones. So how do I make it trickier? Let me take the red real quick. What if I had okay. Now the clue is a little more confusing, right? A river runs through it. I've got blue in the middle of other switches. So do I, as the player, hit the ones that are in between the switches or the ones in the middle of the room? And that's how I can make it more complicated. That's about as far as I got planning this one out so far. But it's a work in progress. The red one, I haven't really thought of. I've got a couple of ideas. I'm lying. I have a couple of ideas. Lava was my first idea, which didn't really help because it's too much like water, in that I was going to put it as a bottom row type of situation where the player has to click all the buttons on the bottom row as the solution. I was thinking blood, where I would have a bunch of buttons around the room and some pillars. I'll just quickly make a pillar or two here or there, which would serve as like the limbs, and there'd be a red button on each column, and the player, like the blood of the heart being pumped to your extremities. But I didn't really like the way I thought that out. It could still work. I'd like something a little better. And then I was thinking blood like war. Because we have battle, we have knowledge, we have skill, and we have faith. So blood like war, and then I was like, well, I can't think of really anything like that. Maybe divided lines, a group over here and a group over here, and only one of them is the right one to push to open the door. So I'm still working on red. Blue needs a little more fleshing out. And of course, green and yellow need to be... they need a second revision before I say it's done. But that's my idea for room 3. You're on a timer. You have to get the right sequence of buttons to push to get the door open to move on to room 4. I'll continue to work on that and keep you posted, keep you updated on what goes on. But for now, I think that's a good enough preview of what I've been trying to do. We'll end the episode here. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Stay safe, and God bless you.